Cross-talking Europe's fate, I'm joined by my guest, Adriel Consanta in London. He is founder of AK Consulting and a foreign affairs analyst. In Paris, we have Rachel Marsden. She is a political columnist and host of Unredacted with Rachel Marsden. And in Prague, we cross to Brad Blankenship. He is a columnist at CGTN, a freelance reporter for Xinhua, as well as an RT contributor. Brad, we should point out, too, that, Iraq is Iraq, Afghanistan's Afghanistan, Libya is Libya. And how did that impact Western lifestyles? Not very much, because they're very far away. But this is going to happen in the heart of Europe. This is what people don't understand. Rachel, let me go to you. You're very well aware of the concept of cancel culture. Now we're doing it to a major country. I mean, in every way, financially, economically, socially, historically, musically, any way you want to do it. This is an amazing exercise of virtue signaling. Go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, well, it is virtue signaling, but we've been in that kind of logic going back a few years now. I mean, we saw it with the COVID crisis, not to get back into all of that, but I mean, we saw virtue signaling with respect to that. It was totally disconnected from scientific reality. We're seeing that now. People who probably can't even point to Ukraine or Russia on a map, even though you could probably do it blind with a dart, particularly in the case of Russia, they've gone from being health experts online to being the best Russia-Ukraine relation expert, and really haven't been paying attention to anything that's been going on over the last 20 years.
Rachel, you live in Paris. I mean, I'm sure the average Parisian is just waiting with bated breath for refugees from Ukraine to come, or correct me if I'm wrong.
I just heard today that apparently spaces in daycares will be free of charge for Ukrainian refugees. And suddenly there's a lot of French people who are turning very right-wing as a result of measures like that they can't understand. When we're offering homes as generous as it is for the state to do that to refugees, when there are French people living in the street, it's hard to explain to French people why that is the case. And one thing that is really interesting that I'm noticing, I don't know if anybody else has ascertained this as well, but there seems to be a narrative coming from the top down, from elites within each country. They all seem to be singing from the same hymn book on this issue, and that is that under the pretext of this conflict, it is necessary, mandatory for the average citizen of Europe and perhaps other Western countries to pay the same but expect much less.
Yeah.
And that goes to the energy issue. And I think I don't like where this is going. I don't like what conditioning us to accept, which is increasasingly less for the same price.
But I just want to say here that, what other guests we're talking about, people coming and accepting refugees from Ukraine with open arms. I give it here in the Czech Republic, I give it like 6 months. I give it 6 months between, we love Ukrainians to the scum of the earth again, because before the war, that's how they were treated here. They were treated as second-class citizens, and that will happen again very soon.
Well, Brad, I'm glad someone else said it, so I can say it now. I lived in Poland for 10 years. The sentiment is pretty much the same there, okay? I'm sorry, okay? That's why this is all such a fiction, okay?